What's going on, arcade nerds? This video is just me carrying the camera around. All day I kind of just had the camera in my pocket, and if I did anything half interesting I just kind of recorded it. So that's what you're going to see right here. Skip ahead, go back, check it out if you get bored with one spot, but whatever.
I'm at work right now, and I'm going to show you guys a trick. Somebody asked me, a buddy of mine's, he had a goal. This is what he wanted to do. He has a Pac-Man cocktail, and a Pac-Man cocktail has lights that are on each side for the control panels, and he wanted those lights to turn blue, but only when the ghost turned blue. Now you could also do that with an upright. You can make the marquee turn blue, only when the ghost turned blue. So we were talking back and forth, and we were trying to think of like an easy way to do it, and there really wasn't much of an easy way to do it. But I did figure out this, and this is probably the easiest way that it can be done. Okay, for example, right here's a Pac-Man board. Now, I don't remember the exact pins, but you can probe around and find it yourself. This chip and this chip both have pins that pulse a lot when the ghosts turn blue. And when the ghosts are not blue, they are barely pulsing at all. Okay? So, if you can imagine, this would be the output on a scope of those pins at normal states, when the ghosts are not blue. But when the ghosts are blue, your output's going to look something like this. Okay? So in other words, for the majority of the time, it's on, and when the ghosts are not blue, the majority of the time the pulsing is off over here. And so I got two of those outputs from each of those chips, okay, and I combined them in an OR gate. Okay, now they're combined. I have them going into a diode, a 1N4148 or whatever it is. Would work just fine. And that's going right here. And now I have them going to a capacitor and a variable resistor or potentiometer. Now right here is your ground, and right here would go directly to the gate of a MOSFET. Does that make sense? What would happen is these would be, it's not completely on all the time. It's pulsing, but it's on most of the time. And this capacitor would hold the charge to make sure the gate is saturated all the time. Okay, and this is just to adjust your sensitivity, and this is your ground. Simple as that. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Yeah, that's about it. I'm still at work here, and I'm working on this Super Pac-Man, and the Super Pac-Man has a board problem. Now, if you can see, it says RAM 7. So I got my wife, she's downloading the PDF, and I'm going to check out whatever RAM 7 is. She's going to print it out for me. As you can see, I just have like a crappy, look at that. That's just there to rig up some temporary power to this guy here. I don't want to roll around on the ground and behind the Super Pac-Man just to diagnose this. So maybe in a minute here I'm going to have this, and maybe this will be an easy fix. Sometimes just because a board says RAM error doesn't mean it's even a RAM error. So we'll see in a minute. Okay, my wife printed out this thing here, and it says RAM 7 is on the CPU side, and it is 2D. So, let's find, this is already the CPU side. 2D. It's a 9114, so it's the same chip as a 2114. I'll swap this sucker out and see what happens. It's soldered in, so I doubt it's a socket issue. It could be, but I don't know. I'll replace it and see what happens. It may even be this 245 next to it. We don't know yet. Let me show you guys a trick. You see this chip I just pointed out? I piggybacked a good RAM chip over top of it. You see that? I stuck one on top, made sure all the legs actually touch. This is not a permanent thing. This is just something that I did to you know, make sure it's that chip before I actually replace it. And it doesn't always work, so don't take this for gold. But sometimes it does work. And as you can see, it did work. So RAM, okay. So now I know that is good. ROM, okay. That's excellent. We have another issue. IO 1. And I don't know what IO 1 means. Well, I do now. I looked it up, and it says right here, IO 1 is CPU 1 is out of order. Okay. Chip location 4F. So 4F is right here. So if I'm lucky, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I probably should have done this in the first place, but I will get around to replacing this RAM. But right now I'm going to reseat these chips a little bit, and let's see if I can just, you know, maybe it's just a bad connection, or it's possible this CPU is actually bad, or it could be a buffer, it could be lots of things. But let's just see if I can reseat stuff. Try the easy stuff first. Yeah, just for giggles. Just gonna pick it up a little bit. I'm not even gonna take it out of the socket. Just pick it up, set it back down. Now, if you ever see a chip that has totally black legs, do not pull it up unless you're prepared to possibly repair it. Because a lot of times these chips will break the legs off. And usually if they are very rusty or totally black. But these being white, you know, silver, I'm not too worried about breaking it. Let me flip the power on. Let's see what we get now. Same exact thing. All right. Well, I replaced the RAM chip. I figured let me test it again before I do anything else. And we're good to go. Okay. I guess even though I piggybacked that RAM and it somehow tested its own RAM test, that's all that was really wrong, just a RAM. So let's put that sucker back in this cabinet. And I'll show you some pictures of it working here soon. Well, I replaced the RAM chip, and I moved the board and it did it again. So this is what I'm going to do. I think it's the ribbon cable, because I wiggled the ribbon cable and it worked again. So I'm going to just make a whole new ribbon cable. This wasn't cut straight, so I'm going to get my ribbon cable cutter. I'm going to cut it nice and straight. Hey Kelly, can you bring me the other ribbon cable? I'm not sure. Sometimes you got when you stamp these cables, you got to make sure they're sometimes one connector will be this way, another connector will be that way, or sometimes they're both the same way. But I can at least start with one. There's one. Gonna get it in the press. And I'm just going to push it down. And it's not good enough. Wasn't straight. I have this camera right in my face. My wife's holding it down. There we go. It's a little better. Boy, I don't like how crooked that went. There we go. It's a little better. Oh, and it moved again. There we go. Okay, you brought the other cable? Okay. Okay, they're both facing the same direction on the original cable, so that's how mine are going to be. I always like to cut them a little longer than usual, just for giggles. Now, I'll see if this side will go on easy like it's supposed to. Now, this is just a 50-pin cable. I believe that's the same as SCSI. It's an old computer cable that they used for, you know, hard drives and stuff, CD-ROMs. So you can find those cables already pre-made. Okay, now we'll probably have a nice dependable setup here. Let's find out in a second. Yay! Definitely got a little bit of burn, but it's a lot better than it was. Well, that's working, and it is 5:41. I'm going home, but I want to show you guys a bunch of Pac-Mans I got working. There's some more over there, but it's in the last, I don't know, week and a half. I've been concentrating on Pac-Mans. Just getting a bunch of Pac-Mans. About half of these were board issues. Some were easy, some were a pain in the ass. But just some Pac-Mans here that I got working. Oh, the Cabriolet is a 16 one. The rest are all original hardware. But here's a couple other ones. My boss wanted to keep the nicer ones for himself. And of course, he wants one of everything, and there's more than this. I mean, you know, if we find a glob or something like that, we'll make him a dedicated glob or whatever, you know. But these were some of the nicer cabinets, and so I got these are going to be saved for him. But all these are for sale. So, you know, if you're watching this channel, and you're interested in a Pac-Man, all of these are anywhere from, I'm going to say, 400 to 700, depending on condition, but they'll all be working. You know, the lower end stuff might have a slight monitor issue or something like that. The higher end stuff will be totally rebuilt, so it's up to you. Yeah, well, I'm going home. Yeah, I got me a low tire. I've been putting air in this tire every couple days now. I need to actually plug it. I know exactly where it's leaking. So I guess I'm going to stop at the gas station and put some air in the tire. Well, now we have another damn issue. Let me tell you how my truck is wired. I have all these beautiful wires hanging right here, and the ignition switch went bad, and I didn't want to buy an ignition switch. I didn't feel like tearing it all apart, so I tied it into the wiring through the dash, and this switch was left on by my beautiful wife. My beautiful wife left this switch on. Well, what this switch is the ignition, and here's your start button. Can you hear it? Battery's dead. And it's Friday. There's no one else here. It's just me and Kelly. So I guess I'm going to go inside. This would be kind of a cool video anyways. I'm gonna make a Kelly's like, no, it's not a cool. No, this would be cool. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a battery charger from scratch just to kind of get this fucker started. All right, back inside. Well, I'm looking through some isolators, isolation transformers, and whatever. And right in front of me, I have a jackpot. 14 volt at 10 amp. 120 or 100 volt in. Ooh, good. So when I put 120, this is going to be somewhere around 15 volt before it's rectified. So yeah, that'll be a nice quick charge at 10 amps. So let me make a car battery charger. Well, anything worth doing is worth doing right, I guess. So I guess I'm going to cut this piece of wood to make like a, in case I ever have a dead battery again, I'm just going to cut this piece of wood and make it like a something nice looking. So let me cut this piece of wood. And I got a couple of diodes, bridge rectifiers I'm going to use. Want me to stand on it?
No.
Huh?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Holy crap, is that heavy? I have a messed up shoulder. Okay. So I'll just mount a couple of these and I'll just do the wiring. Well, here it is. Got it mounted here. I got these two hooked up, and this goes into my 110, which I have feeding into normally 100 volt. So I'll have 20% more voltage coming out of this 14 volt. So let's get this shit hooked up. Well, we're out here. I'm all angry and pissed off about nothing. Just want to go home. Plug me in here. Yeah, I got it. Just go ahead and plug it in. As long as one's not connected. All right. Ooh, we're pretty low. There, that's a better connection there. So now we play the waiting game. Unplugged, okay. Oh, it broke a wire off. Whatever, it worked. Well, I'm back at home, and here's a project that I've been wanting to do all week, and it's finally the weekend. And well, anyways, my rip-off machine, the monitor died, and I believe it's the monitor at least, because the light on the CCPU board, it flashes for a second like it's supposed to, and it blows a breaker. So I'm imagining it's the monitor. Also the soundboard died. We're talking days before that. So it was a double hitter. The soundboard died and the monitor died, but I do have another soundboard to put in. So I'm gonna have to fix that. But this monitor, it's kind of a Frankenstein between several different models of Symmetronics monitors. If you see the box right here, that box high voltage unit is supposed to be on a different type of frame, but and the circuit board is supposed to be on a different frame, and this chassis, these heat sinks are supposed to be on a different type of frame. So it's like a kind of a Frankenstein of different Symmetronics monitors put together. So anyways, I'm going to take this off and let's see what's wrong with it. I'm debating on not even showing you this, because I have like three at least, Kelly, Symmetronic repair videos for the monitors, but I'm just going to do a quick wax over on this, and I just want to see this damn thing work again, you know. So let me get this out. Well, I got the monitor laying out here. I took off, you know, the first place I always check is the deflection transistors, so the driver transistors. And this time I was right. This transistor right here is a dead short. And that would definitely blow the breaker. So I'm going to have to... I already replaced these too, damn it. I replaced these a while ago. So 2N3792 and 2N3716. Now I'm going to replace these. You should replace these in pairs. So I'm going to replace both of these, and I'll probably just skip right to the game working, hopefully, unless something else goes wrong. So I'm going to look through my XY rebuild parts and find these transistors.
Happy. It works. It works.
Hey. Okay. It works. I feel terrible when stuff doesn't work in here. I really do.
It sucks.
Okay, so it works.
It's good.
Check out my new Vectrex. Only paid $50 for it, but it looked like this. When I got it. I'm gonna wrap this up. Do you guys like this kind of video? You know, I made a video something like this before in the past, and you guys, some of you guys seem to like it. I don't know. Yeah, so this is just whatever happened today. I just kind of I took the camcorder with me, took it to work, and whatever. Hey, if you watched the video and you got this far, you're watching my crap and you got this far, why aren't you subscribed? Please subscribe to my channel. It's down here, a little thing goes, you know, subscribe. Have a good one.